So Amari Cooper is officially going to be a Cleveland Brown this season. They will have a chance to re-sign him at the end of next season. He will be an unrestricted free agent, but that's not what this video is about. We can talk about the pros and cons and what he brings and his age and his value and all that as the season goes on and we see what we see. But in this video, I want to go into what makes Amari Cooper so great. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but we know that he is the route runner. How does he create so many uncontested, wide open plays? We're also going to talk about, one of Amari Cooper's tells, something that if I was a corner studying game film, if I saw this certain foot alignment that we're going to touch on, I would be keying in on whether it's a slant or a go ball. Just so you know, I do have some qualification to speak on this. Played football in high school and university, played receiver there, and I was a receivers coach for a U18 team. And not to get too into that, but just to say, I've been around the block a couple of times. This should help you enjoy and understand the value in Amari Cooper a little bit more. So let's get into it. Let's start the tape, and we will see you at the end of the video. What we have right here from Amari Cooper is what is called a diamond release. So right here, he's playing with him a little bit. We got a man up corner with a slight outside shade. We need to win this ball inside. And we got to remember, we have PJ Walker back here. This is not Deshaun Watson. This is not Joe Flacco. This is not Jacoby Brissett. This is PJ Walker. So what do we have to do? And what is Kevin Stefanski and Alex Van Pelt trying to do in this game? Get him one read throws to their best route runner and just have this be simple pitch and catch. And this wouldn't be simple pitch and catch if it wasn't for Amari Cooper's release here. And this is against very good DBs. I believe this is Diamador Lenore at the top of the screen here, but this is a diamond release. So we get squared up. Our feet are even right here. So are the defensive backs. He is in the disadvantage right now because we have a two-way go. This is the thing about having your feet square as a wide receiver. Right now, we could burst inside, we could burst outside, and he's gonna have to react to us. So we have the upper hand. So what Amari Cooper does here, knowing that he wants to win on the slant, but also understanding that we have a full field progression going on right now, is that we can't just burst inside and run this like a quick slant. We have to take some time so PJ Walker can actually make a throw downfield. And so this isn't just a 2-yard gain. That's not going to work for us in this situation. So from here, we're taking 3 hard steps to his outside to try and make Lenore open up the gate. And when we say open up the gate, this is what we're talking about here. Right now, Lenore's body is facing this sideline, meaning all that Cooper has to do is cut back inside and have active hands so Lenore can't reach out and grab him. And then this is a simple catch for a big gain. And we see that right there. That's about 15 yards at the end of the day. Any release in general, a release will not work unless you are getting aggressive and selling with your shoulders, your head, and your hips outside of the frame of the defensive back that you're running this route on. If Cooper just sticks within his frame, meaning his foot lands inside of Lenore's outside foot, he's not out wide enough. He's not going to be overstretched to the point where he now has real estate back inside to win this. So those are the little things that Cooper understands better than most in this league. And that's why he just gets open. So now we're gonna jump down to week 3 against the Titans, and we're gonna let this play. Cooper's right down here at the bottom. And at first glance, there's nothing too impressive about this. It's just a hitch route. However, there's a lot of context that needs to be understood before this. Let's look at the down marker right here. First down, we're getting 5-6 yards on first down. But what happened the week before this? Who did the Browns lose? Nick Chubb. So what does that mean? The run attack was not what it was. They're playing an extremely physical Titans team, and they had to make progress on these first downs. They could not be behind the chains. So this is another thing where Amari Cooper's value just was so amazing last year because they could use him essentially the way that they would Nick Chubb, understanding that he can win quick game routes because even on this hitch, which we're going to jump back to the beginning, Having a low corner against a hitch route, this is one of the hardest routes to win because a lot of receivers, I mean, especially young receivers, will spaz out in this moment. And immediately you'll just see the hand fighting in these close quarters. This corner has already won if you start getting concerned and start getting handsy in this moment. But Cooper, being a veteran, being an amazing route runner, understands, okay, we have to sell deep, even though we're max getting to about 6 yards here. And then we're going to have to box us out like a basketball player and win a strong physical contested catch. Dips the shoulder right there. That is the key. Corner's reaching, but you can see Cooper is not allowing this corner to get his chest. Dips the shoulder, rips through, we're running, and then that throw by right there. Let's watch that one more time. Active hands at the top of the route, the throw by, and then we jump inside to box out. That's beautiful. Now the corner has to play through Amari Cooper's back, but we make this catch because he's Amari Cooper. He has strong hands, and he just put himself in a position to win this play. And like I said, this is huge. Without Nick Chubb, you can't get those 3.5 yards on first down. So what are you going to do? If Jerome Ford can't get it done because you're playing a tough physical front seven, you now have a de facto running back in the sense that the name of the game is get those 3 to 5 yards on first down. We can get it with this quick game because Amari Cooper can win these routes against tight physical coverage. It's just a really exceptional play that goes unnoticed by the average fan, but hopefully you guys can appreciate that a bit more. All right, now we have Coop at the top running a curl against Carlton Davis. This is 3rd and 10, and I was actually at this game sitting in the dog pound back here. It was exceptional, one of the best football experiences of my life. And if you guys remember this game, you'll know why. Again, doesn't seem like anything crazy necessarily, unless you've ever been out and run routes against a low corner. You understand that. These things are not easy, but let's start to break it down now. Okay, so we're running a curl. Typically curls are run 12 to 14 yards in depth. And especially on 3rd down, you have to have this play. You have to create separation at the top of the route. First things first, we have to win outside on this. Have to win outside. If we're inside, we're gonna get pushed into everything down here. It's gonna get clogged up. It's gonna be an incompletion. At worst, it's gonna be an interception. We have to make this corner blind to this throw. So what do we gotta do? Cooper does a little bit of a stutter here, just out to a speed release. Davis opens up the gate. We're hip to hip now. Right here, we see Cooper with his eyes downfield. And why is he doing that? It's because he has to sell the go ball to help carry Carlton Davis into that deep 3rd. So corners are taught, okay, you know, around that 10 to 12 yard mark. If we see them start to shutter down, it means that they're running a curl, they're running an out, they're running something where they're stopping, and that is their hook to curl depth, where they know that they have to stop, make a play on the ball. So it's so exceptionally important to get your full depth as a receiver running a curl in this situation, because if we stop right here, Carlton Davis is dropping off and he's going to contest this ball. He doesn't even have to look at the ball. He can just play our body and he's probably going to get in between us and the ball. But Cooper understands this. Again, as a pro, carries. And now that we're at this 10 to 12 yard threshold, Davis believes more that, okay, I need to open up my gate. I need to start running faster because this ball could go over my head and this could be a huge, 95-yard touchdown. So he starts to open up. But what does Cooper do here? The throw by, the Michael Jordan versus Utah. Let's watch it one more time at full speed. I know I'm yapping a lot about this, but it really is just a great play. That throw by right there, that is all the separation you need to complete this. The ball is already out. And then right there, you get 2 to 3 yards of separation just from that throw by technique, but you can't execute the throw by unless you sell deep. So just another really, really great play, great route running. Again, it's not overly flashy, but route running doesn't have to be that way. It's why guys like Steve Largent is a Hall of Famer. It's why guys like Hunter Renfrow have made starting lineups and, won an absurd contract. That's a conversation for another day if he was worth that, but still, nonetheless, he's a pro. All right, so now we have Amari in the slot, running an out. This is a really, really great play design. They put Nick Chubb outside on an island so they can get Amari Cooper on an island running an out with tons of real estate to the outside. It's just a really, really good job because bringing a linebacker outside to cover Nick Chubb right here, you're just kind of wasting bodies and you're giving a ton of room to a guy who can cook this guy in this instance. So let's watch it once. So again, what are we seeing? It's looking like cover one all the way. This linebacker's blitzing. So what does this mean? We cannot dilly-dally. This is a 6-step out, which is very typical for any sort of pro style out route. You're going to see at the 6th step with his inside leg, he's sticking and rolling, but he does a great job of getting to this defensive back's toes before getting to that point. Let's count this out really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that speed cut, we are rolling, balls coming out as this linebacker's right about to make a hit on Brissett. What are we doing at the top of the route? We're losing ground to the sideline. So again, if we drift here, this ball will fall incomplete at our feet. But if we lose ground, or if we stay on a 90-degree working to the sideline, we'll catch this thing in stride, just like that. And then knifing upfield immediately to just make a 10-yard completion into a 25. It's huge and just a really, really beautiful job. Very simple, just a simple speed cut, but sometimes simplicity is best. And again, just a great play design to get Amari Cooper on an island against a lesser coverage guy with tons of room to the outside. We can see him up through the end zone view here. Got a slight outside shade on this slot corner. Stick, roll, catch. Easy money all day. All right, for the final out, we're gonna see another slide release. So what we covered on the first play, talking about the slant, we have Amari with his inside foot up. So what could we expect with this foot back? With a low man corner squared up against us, we're probably gonna run that slide release again. So what's that gonna look like? We're gonna press outside and then jab with this right foot to open the gate. So let's watch it once full speed. That is just absolutely nasty. To win inside and then win over the top on the out is just exceptional, exceptional route running and so much harder than people understand. So let's break this down slow-mo. We're working, little skip step, slide release, aggressive outside jab right here. We're stepping outside of the defensive back's frame. You can see right here, this is outside of his toes here. And that opens up what? The inside, because this move is selling that goal line fade that Cooper has scored so many times and that he actually scored on the play before this play. So we're a little bit nervous. Now, as we come back inside and this corner reaches, we have active hands fighting through. But then we aren't just, lollygagging inside and then trying a fat wrap to the outside. We're getting skinny again and then pressing upfield, keeping pressure on this corner, because that is the way you would run a slant in this instance. You would press up and then you would drop him off and bust back inside, because if we just came flat right away, we'd be running into all of this coverage. So Cooper is setting him up twice. He's selling, actually more than twice, who knows how many times. He's selling the fade first with the slide release, then back inside and up for the slant. But then we're working, we get hip to hip, we start winning over top, and we get the double stick at the top. So we're jabbing hard right, and then back left on the left foot to get over top. And that is what dropping a defensive back off looks like. It's that extra little move, that right-left step to make him think slant, and then he jumps back inside, and then it's too late and we're winning, wrapping back over the top. So let's watch it again full speed. Right, left. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous route. Let's watch it one more time. Slow-mo. Right, left. And that right, left just freezes him. This is what, if you're a young receiver, you need to understand. Say you're running a route against, you know, an out or a dig against cover 2 man. You have a pressed trailing defender. You have to give him something at the top of the route to open it up. Because if Amari just sticks his left foot here and tries to roll, rather than this last little stutter step, he's just going to cut off our angle and we're going to be pushing the sled to the outside. But that little bit of a hesitation on the double stick opens everything up. Make him play your game. Okay, now we are Go Ball City. We are in Go Ball City right now. So you're not going to see what I was talking about before with that outside foot forward, but that's because Amari isn't even running a release on this. This is far enough off. This is about 2 yards off. So he doesn't really have to run any sort of aggressive diamond release like he will in the later clips that we're going to show. However, he does something else within this route to help him capture the hip of the defender and then get the stack over top to make this play. So let's watch it. We all remember this one. Ooh, what a nasty catch. So let's go into this one here. So like I said, nothing crazy. We're squaring them up and we're just kind of going for a speed release here. If we just keep running at this point, I believe this Jimmy Ward is just going to squeeze us to the sideline. And it's going to basically be impossible to make this throw, especially with over the top safety help. But Amari has a lot of tricks in his bag and he goes for what we might call a dead leg right there. And where's he doing it at? This is 3rd and 7. He's doing this right at the stick. So he's running this almost like a hitch, like we saw against the Titans. We're just going to get our depth, shut it down, box him out. But we convert on this. So let's watch that little dead leg, what it does at the sticks. Helps us capture the outside and then we close out. I mean, it's not a full closeout of the stack, but it doesn't matter because we go up and make that play on almost a back shoulder ball, letting Ward drift in front of us. And just, I mean, I think the probability on making that catch was like 7% or something with the next gen stats. It's just really one of the nastiest catches that does not get the recognition it deserves. Like that ball, he's catching that on the back end of the ball and still manages to get both feet in double coverage. It's just fantastic. But yeah, that dead leg in that position there is what makes this play get open. Oof. All right, so now we got Amari down at the bottom. We see what? Outside foot up. So what does that mean? Most likely that he's going to use this off leg to throw aggressively inside, because obviously if the right leg's back, you jab with the right leg to the inside to open up the gate of the defender. So let's watch this once. Such a great release. Such a great release. So again, like we said before, like in the first video when we were talking about the slant, where we had the inside foot up at the top because we wanted to jab aggressively to the outside to win inside. Now we got this one here where we have the outside foot up because we want to jab aggressively inside to win outside. And that's exactly what he does. So he just goes with this little slide release, bam, throws that inside. And I believe Lenore had his eyes peeking inside. He was trying to cheat this. Maybe he thought a slant was coming, but I mean, if he just did his film work and looked at Coop's feet lined up, he would know that with that outside foot forward, he's not running a slant. He's setting you up to run a slide release or a diamond release to just push you, make you open up your gate, and then win outside when you get aggressive at the last second. So let's go through slow-mo on this. Bam, outside the frame. Ooh, Man, I could not imagine that film room the next day. And this is the thing about Cooper right here. If he had the speed to score on these plays like he always has the opportunity to do, he would be considered a top 5 receiver, no questions asked. If he had the speed of Jamar Chase or even Justin Jefferson, I mean, no one has the speed of Tyreek Hill, but you know, these kind of plays, he gets no contest throws for his quarterbacks constantly because of the way he wins his releases and the way he runs his routes. Now, what do we see? Coop at the top of the screen, exact same thing. And this is, again, something that if we can get this video to Amari Cooper, we got to let him know, bro, it's like you got to switch up this release every now and then. Maybe it's just too good where it can't be stopped, but we're doing the same thing every single time. Whenever you see that outside foot up, when he's lined up to the outside and he has the outside foot up, you got to know that that heavy inside jab slide release is coming and he's setting you up for failure for an outside release fade. See that slow-mo. Working jab, and then just simple. Make the play in the air. I mean, just so good at that. Okay, and now we got our last one. This is week 3 against the Titans. Again, this is the one that got called out of bounds. What do we see? What do we see right here? Outside foot up. So what do we think is coming? Man coverage all the way, outside foot up. We're lined up to the outside. Again, I mean, this release might even be better than the one against Lenore, even though he didn't fall. Working upfield, aggressive jab, displaced. Look at all that room to the sideline. One thing I'm not a huge fan of, but maybe this was just the way that they drew it up, is he kind of gives up a lot of space. And this isn't me trying to coach up Amari Cooper. Believe me, folks, I know who I am in this world and I know who Amari Cooper is, but he kind of gives up a little bit too much space. Something I would like to see, and I believe his receivers coach probably said to him, is, you know, close out this space and give yourself some room to the sidelines here. It's not like we're running a slot fade where we have all of that real estate to work with. You know, you're lined up outside of the numbers to start this play. You don't have a ton of room to begin with. So try and hold that line a little bit more. And, you know, regardless, this guy's chasing after you, just give yourself a bit more room to the sideline. But still, it's just a fantastic release, a great play. And really, you know, this should have been a touchdown, but knowing Cooper, he probably would have got caught on the one. No shade towards him. Chubb's always going to punch those in anyway, so it's not a big deal. But there we go. That is our breakdown, and let's break it down now. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed that. Amari Cooper is exceptional. His value is so much greater than people understand, and I really hope that there is a way to keep him on this team going forward, just from what he can bring to this young crop of receivers. But like we said, we're going to have to see how this season goes. And regardless, it's going to be fun to see him at least one more time in a Cleveland uniform. So if you guys liked it, drop it in the comments, like, comment, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys. Like we said, weekly videos have restarted as of last week. First Browns game coming up August 10th, 4:25 on a Saturday. Going to be very exciting. Probably going to start doing some live streams post game, do some instant reactions, get people on the chat. We'll have some conversations, talk about the performances and whatnot. It's not going to take away from any of the in-season stuff that we did last year, but just want to get some more stuff out, turn things around. And, you know, first NFL game, the Hall of Fame game, August 1st, next Thursday. It's going to be very exciting. Football is back, so send this to someone you think would appreciate it. If you're a young receiver, if you have a young receiver as a kid, or you're just a weekend warrior, take some of these principles. Let's learn from Amari, the route god, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.